On this episode of The Novel Turtle Presents, I talked to Nick and John from the Happy Everyday Show. Hi guys, how are y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. All right, so I have a few questions for you all to try to understand the minds that are behind the Happy Everyday Show.
Maybe I should stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prepare a little bit. All right, so first question, what is kind of the motivation behind you all doing the Happy Everyday Show, and what made you want to create these videos to begin with?
You? Me? Go, you start.
No, you start.
Okay.
Anyway,
how did it start? We kind of just
we were driving back from Steamboat.
Oh yeah, well we had been talking about wanting to throw a pitch together for a TV show to pitch to like Netflix or something, and came up with this idea on a car ride back from a shoot for another show, and it eventually evolved or devolved into, we don't know anyone at Netflix, so we don't know how you go up like pitching a show to like a streaming service or anything.
Or College Humor, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know much about anything. So we figured let's just make the show ourselves. We were pretty antsy to have a nice creative outlet because with our job and Lux Lab, it's a lot of working for other people, which is great.
Commission work versus like our own creative outlet.
And we put a lot of creativity into those, but it's nice to just have something personal, like a personal creative outlet, and that's kind of how it turned into Happy Everyday.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
we were hoping to hire like 2 stand-up comedians or like a B-list comedian. Like, there's no way we can afford to do that if we wanted to stay our own personal thing. So like, what if we jumped in front of the camera? So,
which we never are.
We're not used to that.
It's really awesome.
Thanks.
It's a lot of fun to watch, and just to watch you all interact and just the jokes and everything. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
Jinx.
So how do you all narrow down which holidays? And there's like 20 for every single day. So how do you all narrow down which ones you're gonna celebrate and make a video?
It's funny because there's like 20 a day for national, but then there's another 20 for world.
Yeah, there's world, national. There's not a single calendar day that doesn't have a day for it.
So we're trying to keep it in America, at least for now.
Yeah.
But
once we start making money, we'll go international.
You want to fly us to Australia? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Really, it's all about what resources do we already have that we can easily film with. So we just finished Donut Day, and I have a good friend, Holly, who is obsessed with donuts. So we realized, you know what, she would be the perfect person to give us a tour around Denver and show us her favorite donut shops. All these episodes wind up being very organic because we just have friends or people who want to collaborate with us and hang out with us, and
it's an excuse to hang out with friends. Like Brandon, our friend Brandon, had a brew kit, so we're like, let's do beer day. It's kind of like, what can we utilize?
Yeah. Now, were you with the pizza video? Were you all already planning to build the pizza oven, or is that something you decided to do later?
I think I've wanted to build something like that for a while, and this thing seemed like a really good excuse. And my wife was on board, so that it wouldn't have happened without her. Because especially we had planned on doing it, and then the pandemic happened, so we still pushed forward with that because it wasn't a cheap project, and I love doing projects. So does my wife. We're always doing something around the house, so that was like the ultimate project, and it was really fun. A little stressful because there was a deadline. Most projects we do don't have deadlines, but I think it was a lot of fun and well worth it. We're going tonight, actually.
Which leads me to my next question, Nick. How do you know how to make pizza so well, like pizza dough? And
that's funny. Honestly, right? I wasn't meaning to learn how to make pizza, but I was roommates with my brother-in-law, and he is always making his own dough, and so I just kind of learned from him, and still learning. It's it's not perfect, but just a general interest in bread making led to pizza crust making. So yeah.
So with the burrito challenge, have either of you eaten a burrito since then, or the chocolate milk challenge, or the archery? Oh, you're drinking chocolate milk. Oh well. Have you had any chocolate milk since?
I love
That's probably the first. Is that the first chocolate milk you've had since, or?
No, I'm obsessed.
You know what?
I drank one of these in 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All right here still.
You know what?
Probably.
I haven't had a burrito since burrito day, but we have had chocolate milk. So I think we're it's burritos that we're scarred from.
Never again.
Yeah.
I want to redo burrito day next year though. Like 2021. I want to go back.
Why would I want to redo that?
You should be my trainer.
Yeah, okay.
You should be my
I'll
trainer.
massage
Like
you then.
you'll be my
Actually, that'd be good.
my Mickey or whatever from Rocky.
That'd be the beginning of
There you go.
We all know that I'm gonna lose again.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
I want to actually finish it next time. Like I want to eat the whole.
I'll train you up. I'll help you do it.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive that you all did as well as you did, because that was a huge burrito. So do you still have burritos stuck in your ear?
Oh, I think I see a piece of cheese.
No, that's from my omelet this morning.
Oh, okay. No, you're good then.
Totally different.
Different meal.
Different type.
I love it. So what inspires you all to be happy every day? Like with all the challenges that are going on and just, I mean, real life in general, what inspires you all to be happy every day and to want to put this out there for people?
You know, what's funny is that like throughout history, we as a people have created days to celebrate Halloween, Christmas, like all your typical days that deserve to be celebrated, right? But now, like you said, there's 20 a day,
right?
Because we're all looking for like what's important to us to celebrate and making it like official. And so we just wanted to partake in that.
Yeah,
I think
sometimes like you said, like all the big holidays and stuff, like you don't need an excuse to like celebrate something. Like there is something worth celebrating every single day, and even when you have a bad day, you can look back and there has to be some type of win in that day, like something to be happy about. So it's just a good excuse to have fun, hang out with friends, and just be happy, because I think we're both that baseline pretty happy people, so it's pretty easy for us to want to celebrate.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's really awesome that you all do that for people, because I think people are searching for something like that in the world right now. So especially right now, all the time, but especially right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't mean to, hopefully it doesn't come off as like tone deaf, because there's
some serious stuff going on that needs to be addressed and like really, but you know, even like we said, even on the bad days, you got to find something to be happy about.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating the little things. Trying to stay at peace.
Yeah. One other kind of like, I guess, serious question, not really serious, but what is your all's definition of creativity?
Man, that's, you start, you look like you had something to say. Take it away. Take it away, Nick.
Well, it's stuff that I listen to that I admire, not my own thoughts, but I listened to a TED Talk once that talked about how creativity is it's two things. It's one, novel, so unique, not been done before, and two, it's appropriate. And they did a test on like 100 people. They gave them a key and said, okay, find 50 ways you could use this key that isn't unlocking a door. It has to be appropriate, so you can't say something like, well, I'd use it as an eyeball, but that's not appropriate because you can't do that. So in order for it to be appropriate and novel, someone would say, using the key to like write the murderer's name right before he died, so the cop could arrest him or whatever. Like novel and appropriate. So
that's creative.
I feel like we can be, and I feel like John's very creative because of his wittiness. Is that the right word? Because he's appropriate and it's unique, and he just brings that special flavor to the show.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Also like the last thing is like, creativity isn't just like what we talk about. It's also on the set. There are things that happen where we're like, oh no, what do we do next? And we have to be creative in order to maneuver obstacles.
Problem solving.
Yeah. So
Especially
it's not just like filmmaking. It's logistically, how do we make these episodes with the schedules we have with our 9-to-5 job?
Right.
So we have a lot of fun with that.
And it's just fun to create stuff. It's really satisfying to take something from an idea through like the production of it and then to the finishing of it, and it's really satisfying to create something and complete it and see how other people react to it.
And Happy Every Day isn't just John and I. It's
we've got friends and teams that help us out,
especially our immediate partners, John and Keegan, a different John. with their support and their brainstorming, we
Mhm.
all are able to create this. Not one of us would be able to create it without the other. So
Yeah.
we're pretty blessed.
Yeah. There's people we run every idea by, and like you said, there's multiple national days for every day. So we're like, well, hey, out of this day, like, does anything speak to anyone? Like, anyone have any ideas? So it's definitely not just us; it's a whole group of people.
It's kind of a group effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of led into one of my other questions, which I don't think I put on the list, but you kind of answered it a little bit. But how do you all handle, like, when something doesn't go as planned? How do you all kind of creatively handle that? Like, has there been a time that you could talk about when something just went completely awry and you had to change the plan in the middle of things, or?
I usually throw a fit and start crying.
Nick has
he has to talk me down from the ledge. Yeah.
It's funny that happens. I have exactly what I want to say to John here. He says something different that I'm not expecting, and I have to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I've been learning. This show is helping me with my personal life, adapting to the obstacles in my way.
I mean, we've had other shoots for business and stuff where like stuff goes wrong, but for Happy Every Day, like, what's the biggest thing that's gone? Usually it's just trying to round up like people to film and do audio, because like, we're not making money at this yet. Hopefully someday we, get enough subscribers and stuff to be able to put money into the show. But it's definitely just like, hey, who's available to help us? So it's just getting people together, and the logistics of it can sometimes be difficult.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone catastrophically wrong so far.
Mostly it's just schedule and running out of time on certain things, making sure to get home in time to help my wife put down the kids. For bedtime.
I was not planning on puking during the archery episode, so that was kind of like, so I had to deal with that. But I edit the episode, so I edited, so it's in there a teeny tiny bit. So
the way you all hold your pose at the end, was that just something you did once and thought it was funny?
Oh no, so when we were in film school together, there's this great television show from the 70s. So most people have seen the Naked Gun movies from the 80s, like the spoof movies. That started out as a TV show called Police Squad, and they would do that at the end of every episode, where they would do a freeze frame, but then something would be going on in the background, so it wasn't a real freeze frame. So like, I think it was only like 6 or 7 episodes because it didn't do well. But there's one where the entire like courthouse falls around and they're down around them, and there's a fire going on in the background. So we totally just stole it from that show.
We'll get there though.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
If we can destroy some building behind us.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah, I think the best one was when your car was rolling away and banging in the background. Yeah,
the car is safe. The car's safe.
The car survived.
Those are just sound effects.
Yeah. I have one other question. John, I love your dog. What kind of dog is it, and what's his name?
Lionel, and he's a schnoodle, so he's a schnauzer poodle.
Oh, he's so cute.
He is. He's about a year and a half old now. He's still a pup, but yeah, he loves hanging around and walking through the background, and he's not camera shy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I loved him on the cheese ball episode where he was like walking along eating the cheese balls while y'all were shooting at each other.
Yeah, funny enough, I cleaned my garage a week ago and he found cheese balls still in there and ate them, even though they were like pretty month old. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's still cheese balls on top of my oven hood.
Are you serious? When you were testing it?
Yeah, that was my other favorite thing about that episode, was you testing it in your kitchen.
Yeah, they went all over the place.
Well, we just got interviewed by the Novel Turtle,
and so can you.
Guys. Well, I guess the interview's over. Thanks, I had a lot of fun. Bye.